Welcome to the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks. This is a podcast that invites you to remember who you are, return to yourself, and rise into your highest and best soul self. Every week, I will be sharing inspiring conversations about topics that hold keys to your awakening. My mission as an international evidential psychic medium, Reiki practitioner, and intuitive mentor is to help you rise into who you were born to be. Enjoy the show. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks, and today we're here for a November energetic forecast. Here we are, November 2023. Little shout out because November is and always will remind me of my beloved grandmother, whose birthday was on November 30th. And she was a Sagittarius, loved all things astrology and horoscopes. And as most of you will know, we lost her just a few months ago in May of 2023. So I am dedicating this episode to my beloved Nanny in spirit. So let's see what November is going to bring forward for us this month. I'm going to do this episode, this reading, like I did last month. So sporadically, in the moment, and live. A lot of you liked how kind of flowy and in the moment it was. So I'm going to do that again. And all that means is I'm pulling the cards live with you in the moment. And so I opened up. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. But I just opened up this tarot card box. This is the Unfolding Path Tarot. This is the tarot deck that I'm going to pull from today. And I open it up. I take the lid off. And for whatever reason, I turn it over to look at it. And there is a dove right there. And that is my spirit sign from my nanny. So look at that. Little hello from my nanny. Okay, so you're going to hear me shuffling. I'm going to shuffle the tarot card for us, the energy. Oh, we got a flipping card. There we go. I'm going to take that. Didn't have to shuffle too long before it popped out. So I'm going to pull all the cards. We got the tarot. The oracle deck that I'm guided to this month is called the Goddess Power Oracle. So that is what I will be pulling from. You're going to be hearing me shuffling. Feeling this one right here. Sometimes cards just pop out, and sometimes they are just kind of speak to you. And you're like, okay, that's the one. That's the one. Okay, and finally, the Soul's Journey lesson cards. Always use the same deck for that. Literally, the deck is called the Soul's Journey lesson cards. I always just set my intention as I pull these cards to tap into the lessons and the energy of the month of November as a collective and what we can expect. Okey-dokey. Two cards wanted to come out for the lesson, so I'm gonna let it. I will allow it. Okay, let's see where we're gonna go here. Super duper interesting. Okay, and you can also expect today for me to channel in the moment the totem animal for November, our number, and our color. So let's firstly go with our tarot message. So we've got the Four of Wands come in for us for November. So if you're on YouTube, you can see the card that I'm holding up. It's two gentlemen. They both look super happy. They're both holding two wands together. There's just a lot of energy here. A lot of, like the colors, there's a lot of red in this card and a little bit of purple. It's beautiful. Beautiful card. This deck has beautiful artwork. Okay, so the Four of Wands is about celebration, a joyful event, fruition, and harmony. So it says, now is a time for celebration. An important milestone has been reached, maybe a wedding, a birthday, or some other reunion, maybe something that you've been working on. Something is coming into fruition for us in the month of November. This card kind of speaks of a homecoming. So there's this energy of a homecoming, right? It's this, I keep hearing the word interconnectivity as well. So I feel like there's, whether there's something actually happening, like an event, a special occasion in which we are kind of all coming together or celebrating something, or whether it is more of a symbolic energy where you are feeling this kind of sense and peace and comfort and in connectivity. So it's this feeling that like I'm connected to this and this and this and this, and there's just this really beautiful, peaceful energy that's coming through. I keep in my mind's eye as I'm channeling this message for you, I'm seeing this video that I recently saw. It was a group of people, like looked like hundreds of people in New York City, and they were all huddled around together in this huge circle, and they were singing Imagine by John Lennon. And that's the energy of this, right? It's just this interconnectivity and this celebration of this awareness of this interconnectivity. So I feel this coming in really strong for us in November. So this would be a great month to organize something together. So it'd be a great month to like plan a party, plan, maybe like a girls' night or a guys' night, a family thing, an activity where you guys are kind of all getting together and doing something. It really, really feels like there'll be this energy of harmony for us when we commune with our people, right? Or even if it's like people we don't know, but when we commune with them, when we get together, when we share energy with someone else and we're all kind of like with the same intention about something, right? I think that's why that video came in about those people together with this intention of peace and wanting peace for the world and for people. So I think this comes in, it's like this shared energetic intention. And so if you're going to a certain event, say you're going to a concert, right? There's probably this shared intention by most of the attendees of excitement, and this is so fun, and I can't wait to do this, right? So you're going to feel that energy versus like going to something where people are not looking forward to it. You're going to feel that energy. So it just is really a nod to organize something this month. Anything. It could be like an online Zoom chat, right? Just it feels like being with people in an environment, whether they are friends and family or like-minded strangers, will serve you well. This is a month to celebrate yourself. So I know things have been really difficult lately in the world, for sure. There's a lot of turmoil and stress, collective heartbreak. And as highly sensitive people, which most of you very likely are, if you're listening, this is a lot to navigate. And I totally understand. It can show up in a various ways. For me, it's been affecting my sleep. I'm not sleeping as well. I just feel a little bit more quiet. Today is actually my most high energy day in probably 10 days. Where I've actually like wanted to come on and talk and wanted to batch record podcasts and wanted to, chat to people. It's been about 7 to 10 days of going inward. It's been my inward time lately. And so, you might feel that way too. You might have wanted to isolate yourself a little bit, to protect yourself a little bit. You might be feeling a little bit quiet. Maybe your sleep's impacted as well, whether you're sleeping more or less. Maybe you're feeling just this heavy energy and you feel emotional, like you want to cry, or you're feeling grief. All of these things are okay. And it's the way that you're processing the collective energy and what's going on with the bigger picture, right? The humanity at large, and we're processing that energy. And so I want you to take extra good care of yourself, but I also want you to celebrate. November feels like the time to stop and focus. It's not to say like don't focus on the bigger picture, or it's like, well, that's not happening to me, so let me not like worry about that. It's just kind of about having boundaries with your energy, right? It's about knowing I can do what I can about this. I can speak about this. I can try to, live my life in a certain way. I can stand up and be convicted in what I believe in and what I feel is right. And I can treat people with respect and love and compassion. And you can do that, right? But if you're like me, you can get overwhelmed with like, but is that enough? Because look at all the stuff that's happening in the world. But it is enough. It is enough because you can only do what you can do from where you are. And so if you just kind of align your thinking in that way, you do what you can, but be very mindful about overwhelm this month in November, right? About bombarding yourself with the collective energies. This is a month to, yes, take action, to be that, compassionate humanitarian, but also celebrate, have gratitude. Focus on the things that are going well for you. Focus on the love and the compassion and the trust and respect and interconnectivity that you have with your friends and family, that you have with your colleagues or with like-minded souls, like I know I found in you as a listener. There's a huge ripple effect, okay? And just know, I just looked down, recording for 11:11. You can't make it up. As soon as I said ripple effect, I know that that's something that Spirit gets me to talk about and focus on all the time, is the ripple effect. Know that everything you do when you're coming from a good place is enough. And you don't know the ramifications of one kindness. I recently in the summer shared this thing that's coming to my mind now. I shared it I think I made a reel on Instagram about this, and it's coming to my mind now to share when we talk about this. There, in the summer, I drove past this certain area of the city that I live in that has a lot of tents. There's a lot of people living in these tents. And, as I drove by, I'm just kind of, felt this wave of like pain and sorrow. And I also felt this wave of shame, like, who am I, like driving by them? I've got a roof over my head and food in my fridge, and I know where my kids are, and everybody is full and happy, and has a warm bed to sleep in. And I felt that kind of shame come over myself too. And I just kept thinking like how overwhelmed all of those feelings made me feel. Like I was overwhelmed with the feelings, and I started to get in my head like, maybe I'm not doing enough. Like what can I do for like to help all of those people? And then you kind of spiral, right? Because you're thinking about every single person that needs assistance, right? And what Spirit said to me, like after I kind of came down from this spiral, was, Amy, every single good deed is like, I'm trying to think of the right word to come in. Like every single good deed is like matters. It's noted. It makes a difference, right? So like you might only be able to help 5 people, and maybe you're only able to help a couple of dollars here and there, a sandwich here, a warm blanket here, a smile, a conversation, making somebody feel human. Any act that you do that comes from that place of compassion has a ripple effect, right? So when you do that one thing for that one person, or for those 5 people, or however it is, however many that you can help, there's a ripple effect. It's like sharing a little spark, right? It's like, okay, like I've got this candle, and this is my light, and I'm going to give you some of it. And then you light their candle, and then they somehow light somebody else's, and so on and so on and so on. And I'm just sharing that with you because that can be what this moment of interconnectivity is for us in November. It could be just wanting to do something kind as a nod to this interconnectivity, right? Like maybe you're like, I can't do anything from where I sit to help the people of the world that are struggling, but I can do something locally, or I can do something, a small thing every day or once a week or what have you. And just to know that that's enough, because when you are a highly sensitive person, you're picking up on the energy of all of it, the good, the bad, and the in between. So make sure you take care of yourself in November, okay? Make sure you take good care of yourself. It is a time for you to come together, to nurture yourself, like literally through good food, good company. Yeah, yeah. It feels like there's a little spark of hope for us in November. I'm also taking note of this being wands, and wands being the element of fire. And I'm kind of talking about using words like spark and light and candle. Probably not a coincidence, right? But that's our Four of Wands. So it's not like a straightforward Four of Wands message this month, which is, yeah, celebrate, getting together, all of that joyous kind of energy. But I also felt like this flip side of it where we might struggle to fully embrace the Four of Wands because of this bigger collective energy, trauma, events, things that are happening. Okay, so there's a way to work with that this month. Take good care of yourselves. Okay, next from our oracle message for November, we've got Gaia, which I just love. So this is the goddess Gaia connected to Earth. So let's see what she's got for us for the month of November. This is card 16. So it says, being grounded and slowing down and remaining present in your body is the message of the Greek goddess Gaia for you right now. So this is interesting, right? Because I was feeling like we might kind of be in that spiral, like I was in that story I just shared with you, because of the overwhelm. And so this is about being grounded and remaining present. Okay, this is aligning so far. Perhaps you spent too much time in your head lately and have not taken as good of care of yourself as you would have liked. Does this make sense? Because I kept feeling nudged to say over and over and over again, take care of yourself in the month of November. And here we go. You may not have been taking good care of yourself. Get into a rhythm and make sure you get enough sleep. Commit to spending more time in nature and eat sustainably with conscious awareness. What did I say in the early? Like everything comes together in these readings. It never fails to blow my mind. I was talking about nurturing yourself with like good food and good company. Maybe your sleep's been impacted. Yeah, this is all coming together. So Gaia, the earth, mother of all life, invites you to pay attention to your body, for you are a creature of the earth as well as spirit. So this is talking about, so it says, you are part of this living earth, which is the foundation for all life that has a physical form. What form does your life take? This is the perfect time to take a closer look to ensure that you're happy with it. You're also asked to examine the foundation of what you are building now. Does it feel solid and stable? Now is the perfect time to focus on stability and security, ensuring that you move forward in a grounded way. The goddess Gaia reminds you that the earth is the playground for conscious manifestation, so be respectful of this truth. So, what that's saying, Gaia is the playground for responsible manifestation. Wow. Okay, that's something. So I've shared many, many, many times that spirit has made me feel, has taught me that we do come to earth to learn to manifest, right? Because as spirit, when we live in the spirit realm, when we are spirit, part of the collective consciousness, a commonality that comes through in almost every reading I do is that in spirit, we can manifest instantaneously. There's no time and space. There's no gravity, right? There's none of that. So we could go, I want to go here, I'm there. I need to go be with Amy for this reading, but I also need to be with my loved one who's sitting in front of her computer in New Zealand, right? Like there's an ability to do that, to manifest instantaneously. And something that Spirit's taught me is that we are here on earth as spirit, living and experiencing a human existence that naturally has some barriers because we're in a physical body, right? In a place where there's gravity, in a place where there's time and space. So there's going to be some limitations. And we are here to remember that we can manifest. So I find that very interesting. It's saying, so responsible manifestation, connected to yourself and to the earth and everyone else, this interconnectivity message once again. What you're working on, is it actually what you want to be working on? Is it helpful? Is it aligned with who you are? Does it feel stable? Does it feel solid? Does it feel right? Like everything that's ever been created, ever, and will be created, is because somebody thought about it. Somebody brought the invisible into the visible. They manifested, right? So if you know that, then make sure what you're thinking and what you're doing aligns with who you really are. That's what responsible manifestation is a nod to. Wow. Interesting. A lot of consistent messages there between the Four of Wands tarot message that I brought through and the Gaia Oracle message that I brought through. Interesting kind of stuff coming in. So for the last portion of the card pulls here, I pulled from the Soul's Journey lesson cards, and we have 2 cards come in. So I'm going to reveal both of them. So maybe we're feeling both. Maybe they're combined somehow. Maybe some of us are feeling one and others are feeling the other. I don't know, but we're going to talk about both. So let's see. The first one that came out was the Grief card. Now, this makes a lot of sense, does it not? Oh my goodness, I'm just fully focusing on what these 2 cards are, and of course they make sense. Of course they make sense. The Grief card comes in. So it says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Oh. So it says, the emotion of grief and the sense of loss are absolutely real, but that is the point. The lesson of loss is not about the actual physical separation, but the parting, because the parting is temporary and illusionary. The point of the lesson is to acknowledge that the bonds of love never end and that we have never been abandoned. When you accept into your heart that you will be reunited with everything that you have ever loved, it will give you the ability to move beyond your grief and derive something beneficial from the experience. Understand and allow your grief to take you to a place of deeper understanding. So, that could be a personal message for some of us who are grieving something in our lives right now, the loss of a person, the loss of a relationship, the loss of a job. But it also is a nod to the collective grief that I felt wanted to be acknowledged and spoke on right from the get-go of this episode. So overall, we're learning this lesson. And when we talk, it's interesting too, because they mentioned the separation, right? And what Spirit was bringing through to me was how this month is really about interconnection, how it's all connected. So we can never really truly be separated or severed, always connected. So I think that's a beautiful commonality. Big old goosebumps as I say that. And then we've got the friendship card coming too, which is so interesting. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. I find this interesting because I did talk about this Four of Wands bringing in this feeling of like-minded souls, right? Being in a communal setting, feeling the energy of others and how powerful that can be. I am especially sensitive to things like that. Like I was recently sharing with somebody that I've been someone who, even from childhood, would cry during certain things at like a communal event, right? So during the national anthem, it doesn't matter what country's national anthem is playing, okay? If I'm listening to a bunch of people saying the same thing, coming from this, there's this energy of pride and acceptance and belonging, I'm gonna cry, right? Watching team sports when people are like cheering and people are so invested, I will cry. I'm feeling the energy of belonging. I'm feeling the energy of community, right? Also, when I have gone to church and attended church, hearing people sing, my goodness, nothing will get me to cry more. It's that feeling of belonging. It's a remembrance, which is also why I think that for me, being a Nova Scotian, literally stands for New Scotland. You guys know that I have ancestry in Scotland on all four sides. And I feel like, every time I hear bagpipes, if you want me to cry, put on some bagpipe music, okay? Because I will sob. And I feel like that's connected to this like remembering of a place that I belong, of a place that I am from. It's a remembrance. And so I just find that so interesting how that's all connecting for us this month. So this is just talking about all humans are created the same, are from the same source, but there are some souls that share a unique kinship. I love this because in the beginning we're talking about the interconnectivity. We're all coming from the same source, but there's some of us are, when I said our people, communing, sense of belonging, our soul family, our kindreds, right? That's coming in for us this month. This is very much tied into this message of the four of Wands and wanting to celebrate and wanting to commune and wanting to get together. Perfect month for that. Okay. Yeah. So that's where I'm going to leave it for the soul's lessons. It always blows my mind how connected all of that is. How those three different cards, actually four, because we had 2 soul lessons, how those 4 very different cards from 3 very different decks can come together and give us this very much unified message focus in November. So I'm just going to take a sip of water and a deep breath. Then I'm going to move on to the totem and the number and the color. I'm also taking a nod as I look at my notes here. I wrote down November, and then I wrote down that I saw 11/11 when we were recording, and I'm like, November is the 11th month. Interesting. Okay. One of those little coinky dinks again. Okay, so I'm just going to take a deep breath. I'm going to set my intention to connect to our collective totem animal for the month of November 2023. Okay, we've got 2 coming in. Okay, we've had 2 come in before, but the last couple times it's just been 1. Okay, so the first animal that I saw in my mind's eye was a panda bear. Now, I immediately thought of a specific listener when this came in, and that is because as one of their spirit signs, just as mine was a dove, and then I saw it in the tarot box after I mentioned my nanny, one of my listeners' spirit sign is a panda. So let's talk about the panda first, and then I'll go in and talk about the second animal that came forward. So Panda. So brings in that it's time to bring things back into balance. Oh, look at this. Panda as a totem animal belongs to those who solve problems with peace. Peace. It's like doing what I can with what I have with a good heart and with good intentions. I'm going to take action. I'm going to do something, but I'm doing so coming from a place of peace. Mind blown. So it says seek the panda as your power animal when you would like to see things or you need to see things from both sides of a person or a situation. Panda bear teaches you how to see opportunities on the horizon and to find harmony within. Harmony. You can't make it up. Okay, so now let's look at the other animal I saw, which was a rabbit. So we've got Panda bringing in balance. Power with peace is kind of coming in. Like peace, powerfully peaceful. And harmony, really, really aligned with the messages of November. And then we've got the rabbit totem. Let's see what this says. Okay, so when rabbit hops in as your spirit animal, it's time to look before you leap. Rabbit as a totem animal is for those souls who are creative problem solvers. I think that's still a nod to this this message that we've been talking about. Invoke rabbit as your power animal when you need help switching directions fast. So rabbit teaches you to stop, look, and listen to avoid difficulties. Super duper interesting for sure. Rabbits act as guides between heaven, earth, and the underworld. Pew. They're a potent emblem of shamanic journeys and may even be called upon to monitor those rituals. In fact, when viewing the rabbit's physical attributes, the creature represents a prayerful life as it puts its paws in a prayer position each time they wash their face. In the earth plane, rabbit is a sound navigator having perceptions that pilot him through the darkness. Because of this, rabbit represents sensitives and seers and their psychic powers. It also reflects on those moments when we must hop into unfamiliar surroundings using our inner light and direction. The inner light message again, sharing your light. Wow. Also, it says, beyond this, turn your attention to oh my goodness, look at this. Beyond this, turn your attention to communing. Literally the word communing with the earth element and getting grounded. Spirit's not playing around today. Wow. The in between. All words that I've used today many times. I mean, whether in this podcast or the one I recorded right before this, because I'm batch recording today, I use these words a lot. So I know that Spirit is speaking to us today. This is probably one of my favorite totem animal moments since I started doing these energetic forecasts. Okay, now the number that's coming in for me, it came in as I was bringing forward the totem information. So I'm just going to look it up right now. Okay, so it's number 14. Okay, so 1, 4. Let's see what comes in. The meaning, so this is from a website called tinyrituals.co. The meaning of angel number 14 brings balance, harmony, and commitment to your dreams. And it can be a positive sign that a much needed change is on the horizon. This number is a divine message sent from the guardian angels to give you hope, strength, and direction. Wow. A number of forward momentum and carefully calculated decisions. Carefully calculated. We're going back with the rabbit energy. This number urges us to stay present, grounded, right? Grounded came through with the rabbit, also came through with our Gaia message from Oracle. Urges us to stay present and positive, calm and collective, no matter what situation we find ourselves in. Woo! So it says angel number 14 means rapid change and growth, but in a way that doesn't stretch you too thin. This number is a sign sent from your guardian angels, letting you know that even though change is coming, it can be welcomed with a balanced and harmonious heart. How many times can we bring through the same message? The angel number 14 combines the vibrational frequency of the numbers 1 and 4, and even has a connection to the number 5. The number 1 is associated with new beginnings and freedom. Number 4 is a number of stability and balance, and 5 is of encouragement as you walk along your path. Can't make it up. Okay. Now I'm just going to, interesting. Going to ask for a color, and I got a color very clearly. Let's see with this color. It was pink. Our color in November is pink. Okay. Pink is believed to represent love, compassion, and inner peace. It is believed to have a soothing effect on the mind and can help individuals connect with their emotions and inner self. Pink is also said to have a healing energy, promote harmony and balance in one's life. And with that, I'm out. I'm going to take a bow because that was flipping amazing. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for listening, listeners. I hope that you are feeling excited for this November energy, feeling supported in all the ways. Get together with some kindred spirits this month. Nurture your body. Pay attention to your body. If you're feeling overwhelmed, getting in a spiral, one foot in front of the other, Don't forget this prayerful message that came through from the rabbit with the prayer hands. You're connected, you're validated, you're protected, you're safe. All is well. See you next week. If you have enjoyed this episode, please consider hopping on over to wherever you listen to your podcast and giving it a 5-star review. Thank you so much in advance. If you'd like to keep in touch, please head over to my website, theintuitiverising.com, to keep up with all the things that I have been doing. I also have a private Facebook community for people just like you. It's called the Intuitive Rising Community. All you gotta do is request to join, and I will let you in. Keep rising.